Hello. Hi, I am happy to welcome you to this AGO event this evening. I am Alexa Greist. I'm an associate curator here at the AGO. I'm the R. Fraser Elliott Chair of Prints and Drawings. And I am also the curator, the co-curator of an exhibition that is currently on at the AGO called I Am Here, Home Movies and Everyday Masterpieces. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in the context of this event shortly. But first, I would like to start by saying that the land the AGO is on is Mississauga Nisquabe territory of the Mississauga. It is also governed by a treaty between the Mississauga of the Credit and the Canadian government. Toronto is Mississauga Nisquabe territory. It has also been occupied by other Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and Wendat confederacies. Thank you for joining us today. Reminder that we invite you to ask questions of our speakers using the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Closed captioning is available for this talk, and a recording of this talk will be available on ago.ca in about a week. As we said, this talk is being recorded. And I think I'd like just to introduce or give a little context to tonight's discussion by talking a little bit about I Am Here, which is an exhibition that is currently on at the AGO. Could I have the slideshow first image, please? Thank you. Okay. I Am Here, and what you're seeing here is a drawing by Fiona Smith that represents our show. I Am Here, Home Movies and Everyday Masterpieces is on at the AGO. It will close August 14th, so you've still got some time. And I Am Here is about the human impulse to document the world around us, to document the everyday in particular. And when we started thinking about this exhibition, my co-curator Jim Shedden and our collaborator Rick Pralinger, we just wanted to think about an overarching impulse of human behavior. And we started thinking, my gosh, this goes all the way back to cave paintings and it comes all the way up to TikTok. And the exhibition follows a number of themes like family, home, food. These are all things that came up over and over in self-documentation. The kind of overarching theme or overarching media that helped us define the backbone of the show are film movies, home movies made domestically for sharing, but sharing among a somewhat smaller audience. And this exhibition brings together these home movies with what you might call orphaned media, photo albums, orphaned photographs, with paintings, drawings, found lists, and also with social media. So it really goes and talks about the beginnings of this desire to capture the world around us and the incredible explosion, acceleration that occurs once we have the world in our phones and can share it in various media. Could I have the next slide? This is all just a little bit of a way of kind of giving a teaser. And if you're anywhere nearby or feel like traveling to Canada this summer, it's a little plug for the show. But you see right from the beginning, as you enter the show, we are juxtaposing a work of art. So the work you see at the end of the hall is Ndejeka Akinele Crosby's large work on paper, Blend In, Stand Out. And she's a Nigerian-born artist who works in the US, is married to a white American man, and really deals with issues of identity, and bringing together your different selves and how you live within different worlds, how you present yourself within your different realms. On the right on the wall, we have excerpts from Werner Herzog's films, Cave of Forgotten Dreams, to stand in for cave paintings, because we could not, of course, borrow cave paintings to bring into our exhibition, but a way of saying we don't really know what has happened, why these markings were made at the time, because we don't know much about the people who made them, but there still was a desire to lay down lines and to make forms that would exist. And we would argue in the show that that's something that is really central to human behavior throughout history. Next slide. As I said, the themes, it's a very colorful installation. It's quite a dense show because we want to show the density of human documentation. And you see a painting by Brennan Hinton here showing just an interior. And then maybe the last In the last shot, you'll see a wonderful project the AGO Education and Programming did earlier during the pandemic, asking people to send in images that represented their own portraits of resilience. And so you can see there's a range, 3,800 submissions were received, everyone's names are credited, and every single submission is shown on a screen in a 5-hour long video. And you also see there's something called Panorama, and that's where home movies from Rick Palinger's collection come together with a soundtrack recorded by local musicians in Toronto to kind of a joyful celebration of the everyday and documentation. So Annie, we could go back from there. Thank you. So today, this evening, we're bringing together 3 creators on TikTok. I'm going to briefly read some bios, and then we'll see a couple of videos from each so that we have a kind of place to start. And then I just like to ask some questions. So first, I want to introduce our speakers. Christopher Watson, known as Cat Luminati, was originally born in North Carolina, moved to Washington State after his brother joined the military. Struggling with anxiety, he goes on walks around his Tacoma neighborhood and visits cats. He began filming his encounters with cats on TikTok in June of 2020 during the first lockdowns in the United States. Dutch de Carvalho, also known as Dutch, is a creator, educator, and professional dancer. Dutch currently dances with multiple New York City-based dance companies and works in public education. As a content creator on TikTok, he has 1.4 million followers and has been featured on BuzzFeed, NPR, Bustle, and Gothamist. A lifelong New Yorker, Dutch cares deeply about the city and its people, and his content often focuses on daily life in New York City and his experiences as an educator. Kokum Elsie Paul, whose handle is Kokum Elsie Paul, is a well-known Cree Métis traditional facilitator born and raised on Wolf Lake Métis settlement and relocated at 2 years of age to Saddle Lake. Elsie acquired many teachings from elders in the community. Her teachings are based on respecting Mother Earth and all its creatures, spirituality, and promoting harmony among each other. Elsie holds a social work diploma from MacEwan University, an addiction certificate from Alberta Vocational Center, GRUARD, and a Native Studies certificate from Alberta Vocational Center, Portage College. Elsie also received the prestigious Esquao Award from the Institute for the Advancement of Aboriginal Women for her work with women in conflict with the law. Her most recent recognition was being inducted into the Delta Kappa Gamma Society International, whose mission promotes professional and personal growth of women educators and excellence in education. Elsie is also the founder and president of Kokum Kisewetasuwin Society, whose main goal is to reclaim the traditional ways of Kokums of the past. And now we have some videos that we will share from each of our presenters.
All right, Kokum Elsie, what does your t-shirt say?
Don't judge, just smudge. And I really, really believe in that. We have no right to be judging anybody. That's the creator's job, not us, you know? And the more you heal, you don't judge, you just smudge.
Let me tell you about my day. Get up this morning, go to H&M to do a return. The cashier says we don't do returns here, only exchanges at this store. I say, okay, let me go look for some things. I go find some things, I go to the fitting room. The fitting room attendant says, I'm sorry, we just closed this fitting room, but there's one downstairs that you can go to. I say, okay, I go to the one downstairs. The line is 15 people long. It's okay, I wait on the line, try everything on. Nothing fits. I'm running out of time, so I grab a package of ankle socks, different designs, do my exchange, and I leave. I have to get my hair cut on the way home, so I stop at the salon. I walk in, and Yuri says, oh, Dutch, I'm so sorry. You just missed Natasha. She's going on her lunch. She'll be back in an hour. I don't have an hour because I have to be at work, so I say, that's okay. I'll go home. I'll relax for a little bit. I get home. I don't have my key. I ring the doorbell. My mother's not answering. I call my mom. I'm like, Mom, are you home? She says, oh, no, honey, I'm so sorry. You just missed me. I left the house like 10 minutes ago. I'll be home in like 45 minutes. But I can't wait 45 minutes because I have to be at work. So I say, it's okay, I'll take me and my ankle socks, we'll just get there early. I'll sit in a park. I get to the park, check my phone, there's a missed call from 45 minutes ago. It's my boss saying they need me at 3, not 2. So I could have waited for my mom, but it's okay, I have extra park time. I'll go to work, all good, I leave. But I leave from work an hour later because I started an hour later. And because of that, I get caught in a thunderstorm with no umbrella. A thunderstorm I wouldn't have been caught in had I left work at my normal time. A thunderstorm I would have had an umbrella for had I waited for my mom to come home, which I could have done. So now I'm sitting in this tub, fully clothed, there is no water in this tub, and I'm simply reflecting. Let me tell you about my day.
Y'all, I've known this cat for a long time. I still don't know its name, but every single time I come to this block, it comes to me. Hey, sweet kitty cat. All right, y'all, this cat is a good baby. It lets me hold it. Hey, Patches. Oh, stop, flop, and roll all for me. Thank you, kitty. Y'all, he is loving the rubbing. Y'all, nap time's in the yard today. Hey, nap time, I'm so happy to see you. People love you online. Good girl. Thank you. And y'all look at the floofiness of her belly. Yes, yes, you like that, huh? Y'all, it's the sweet triangle cat. I know this cat will let me hold her because she wants to be in my lap already anyway. Let's see. Yes, she's a sweet baby. Oh, thank you, triangle cat. We just found out her name is Tinkerbell. Good girl. All right, I have to admire this house. It is completely black. Y'all, look at this big kitty cat. Yes, you want to say hi? Say hello to the Catluminati members. So we've seen this cat one other time. That's a big stretch. We're gonna call you Biggie Smalls. No, Biggie Smalls, go back home. Y'all, it's the kitten, Luna. Hey, Luna. You know you could just come right around here, right? You made it so hard for yourself, kitty. All right, this is Luna, y'all. We're gonna keep checking in on this kitty to see its growth. Mama's gonna come visit too. Hey, Mama. Y'all are making this so hard. Y'all can just go right around. Hey, Mama Cat. I know. Okay, y'all, I don't know why, but this scares me. Y'all, we haven't seen Cleo in so long, and she's finally gonna come out to see us. Cleo, where have you been, kitty? She's been in the house. They told us that she wants to stay in the house all the time now. You are so pretty, girl.
All right. So I'm glad we all got a little reintroduction or introduction. This is your first time seeing any of these creators. And I just wanted to start us off before we open to audience questions with a few questions I would love, maybe that will situate us a bit here. And I would just love for each of you, if you're comfortable, to tell us why you started making TikToks.
So, so I guess I'll go first, if that's okay. The reason I started making TikToks was because I was making music back then and I was looking for another platform to express myself. And I was already walking through my neighborhood petting all these cats. And I was like, this will be perfect content for TikTok. After I was scrolling, I was like, people love, obviously the whole internet loves cats, but you know, me loving cats, I kept getting cats on my For You page. And I was like, okay, I have to make videos about these cats in the neighborhood.
I can go next. So I started making TikToks at the beginning of, well, it was about 3 months into lockdown here in the States. So it was like the summer of 2020 or late summer, it was like August, September. And I really just did it because I was like, oh, I'm at home. I don't really have that much else to do. And so I just started, I posted this one video where I talked about how I grew up learning how to mind my business in New York City. And overnight it got like 800,000 views and it just sort of like took off like crazy. And so from there, I just sort of kept making videos and it sort of became a way to talk about life in New York and show aspects of life here that I don't think everybody always gets to see, which I thought was really cool.
My turn now? Yeah. Okay. All right. I just finished watching TikTok while she was in the meeting this morning, and I thought, oh my goodness, because when I first started, I'm not a techno kokum, okay? I didn't know what TikTok was about, but she asked me, can I put this on TikTok? And I said, okay. And now I'm finding out, oh my goodness, I'm so surprised, but I don't feel bad about it because it gives us an opportunity to share about our culture, and I'm a proud Cree Métis. So I come from the best of the both worlds, both cultures have so much teachings and healings. So if I get to share it on TikTok, to me, that's really good because then, because now we have an opportunity to prepare all that for the younger generation and people who don't know, the settlers, the visitors don't know us. If they get to see us on TikTok about our culture and everything, and it's part of our calendar where I said, get to know us, we get to know you. That's another way. TikTok is going to help us get to know each other. I feel really good now after I watched what's on TikTok about me. And so I'm very glad. It's going to be a positive journey and a better tomorrow for me. And my boss says I got 1 minute here. So I got to, my elder here. So I'm finished, I guess. Hey, thank you. Hey, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you. Just hearing what each of you has said about, why you started doing this and what you might, receive from being part of this, I think, community. And, Chris, you said, well, I was already being suggested to look at all these cat things. And it's maybe about, did you choose TikTok? Maybe I hear often, or I found in research from the exhibition, that the ability to create communities or to follow maybe different circles or be part of different circles is a reason people often cite as choosing TikTok as a place to share their content, to visit other people's content. Is that something that resonates with you, the idea of community?
Oh yeah, for sure. TikTok has this thing where they call sides. Like, how did I get to this side of TikTok or this side of TikTok? So there's definitely very thriving, very different communities on TikTok. Every community has, their own people. For example, people will say if you have cat videos on your cat feed, I'm on cat TikTok, or if you follow a lot of Black creators, I'm on Black TikTok, or I'm on Indigenous TikTok. So it's a very beautiful thing, and I think that TikTok's algorithm, is superior, because you've never heard anybody say something like that about Instagram. Like, I'm on this side of Instagram. It's mostly the things that you already follow, but TikTok has the algorithm for discovery, which is great.
That's so true. I just the other day, here in the city, we had this giant thunderstorm, and at 6 o'clock in the morning, it was the loudest thunder I've ever heard in my life. And the next morning I woke up and I was checking TikTok, and I saw 3 or 4 TikToks in a row of people being like, who heard the thunder last night? And wasn't that the loudest thunder? And it's so wild, because these are people I've never met. There's 8 million people here. And there were all these people connecting and being like, oh my God, yeah, I heard that too. And it was this random moment that, it wasn't on the news. It wasn't something that would be written about in a paper or something like that, but it was still an event that was very community driven.
No. Yeah, it's a great opportunity to be us on TikTok, to share about our culture, because historically, because of assimilation residential school, we've lost our culture and everything. But now we have an opportunity to bring it back into the community for us and our people and our future generation. This is really positive, I think. All I could say is thank you, TikTok. And it gives us an opportunity to share the culture, educating our people, and when we get educated, we bring healing, and awareness, and a positive future tomorrow. So to me, this is really, now it seems really good for me. We always have to adjust to the newness of life, but when we do, we adjust to that and get better and better, you know, not that we change, we return to our reclaiming our roles as Métis and as Cree Aboriginal people. This is a great opportunity and it helps our future generation. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, what was my question? Oh, went right out of my head. No. Thinking about, so discussing audience, and a question, do you think, you know, I would say there's something about all three of you and what you're doing and creating, and that has to do with self-documentation. Sometimes it can be minutia, sometimes, you know, it is something broader about documenting about your culture. I mean, I would also argue, Dutch, you're documenting a very specific New York culture too. And, you know, documenting what it is to walk around a city that is either very recognizable because you know, grew up in a place with single standing homes, an example of Chris, or if you were doing that in Philadelphia, for example, it would look really different. But do you think this focus, this way of documenting and sharing, do you think any of this changes because of how large suddenly the audience can be? Does it feel different to you if you were doing this and putting it, let's say, in a blog, and maybe at first you didn't have a lot of followers, not that you couldn't have just as many followers in a blog eventually, but do you feel there's a difference in this ability to have a really wide ranging audience for your own personal documentation?
I would say yes. So I think that the audience actually motivates people to put out more. So for example, if when I'm posting on other social media platforms that don't have the same type of an algorithm as TikTok does, that can bring you an instant audience, I'm not as motivated to put out as many videos. It doesn't really feel like there's as much of a reward there. So I think that it actually has inspired more people to document more.
I think definitely the size or the scope of the following definitely impacts the way I create, because I have to be very specific and conscious of how I'm creating things if somebody doesn't have context for what I'm creating. So I could post a video talking about my day in the life here in New York, and I could mention things that all my friends, if I was just posting it to my friends, they would know what I was talking about because they have context for it. But if I'm posting it and somebody 1,000 miles away is watching it, they don't have context for it. And so the language that I use and the way I describe things, I find myself often being extra, and I mean, I try to always be intentional, but extra intentional when it's such a large group of people. And the way the algorithm works, like it gets sent out to not just your followers, like it's always new people coming across your content, which is also something to contend with, sort of, that you're always being seen by people who have no context for you. And that's sort of an interesting place to be creating in.
Okay, well, I feel really positive about this movement that's happening with us. You know, it gives our younger generation an opportunity to relearn about our culture, you know, and bring about healing. I feel really good, not to try and make myself popular or anything like that, but the thing is to be sharing that information, and we'll have a better future for our younger generation. You know, I'm happy about that. So I you know, this is God's working journey, you know, and it's our leader leads us on a journey. I'm not going to question that. I'm just going to have faith in the Creator that it's going to turn positive, and it already does, you know. So I'm just trusting the Creator to lead me on a good journey with this thing, the education and awareness and healing, okay, because it healed me. So I'm not perfect. I will never be perfect, but I'm getting gooder, okay?
Thank you. I kind of a really straightforward question, but do you ever, you know, sometimes people talk about when you're creating that you can be kind of feel one way, that you're putting things out. Do you ever interact with your followers? Do you enjoy the sort of, some people describe it like horizontal, but that kind of sharing of information, is that something that you do?
Yeah, for sure. I like to respond to comments as much as I can. One of the things I like to do is I'll tell people to send me pictures of their cats, and they love to do that. So I'll be like, hey, everybody, go to Twitter and post pictures of your cats and use my hashtag and let me see that. And then they'll send all their, they'll send their cats. Another thing is a lot of people actually tag me in videos of them finding cats. Like they'll find random cats and they'll be like, stop, flop, and roll. And they'll start saying the things that I say in the videos. So it is pretty cool to feel like, I have a community with influence that I interact with. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. It's sometimes I'll go live, which you can do on TikTok. So like you go live and you do something like this sort of, and people can ask you questions while you're on live. And that's always cool because you get to interact with people sort of in real time. So it's not like a full-on actual conversation because obviously there's not like somebody sitting across from you, but you're asked their questions are coming up and it's some sort of interaction. And also with like the tagging thing, like it's funny to see how like I made this video where I talked about Subway and like sandwiches, the restaurant. And now I have been tagged in so many videos. Like anytime there's a Subway sandwich in a video, somebody's tagging me, even if it has nothing to do with like what I talked about. But it's just funny to see like, it feels good. It feels nice to sort of be like, oh, it's this sort of strange friendship or companionship in a way.
Yeah, I'll probably help Gugum Elsie answer this question because I manage her TikTok for her, but I definitely try to interact with the comments as much as possible because there's so many people that have questions, and a lot of the time I really try to reply with the videos. So that has been super helpful, and it has just been a great opportunity to connect with other Indigenous creators as well. And I'm always reading Gugum Elsie, her comments, and they're always super sweet. So I think interacting with a community has probably been the best part of making TikToks.
I totally agree with my little elder.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to
Erica.
add on to that as
Yeah.
well, if that's okay.
Of course.
A lot of the comments that I get, they actually inspire future content as well. Like somebody will leave a comment and they'll say, there's a cat on my catwalk who's like a diluted tortie, and her name is Mary. And I was like, hey guys, this cat's name is Mary. She's so sweet. She comes off of her porch every time we walk by and she wants pets. And somebody commented on that video very early on and said, oh my God, her coat looks like an area rug. And so then I started calling the cat Area Rug Mary from then on, and people just cannot stop laughing at that name. So there's a lot of the community actually influences the content.
When I first started listening to you guys, you were showing the cat and Mother Earth, to me, oh my goodness, that's so neat because, nature's our teacher, and our healer. So therefore, Mother Earth is so incredibly, we were taught that long time ago that Mother Earth has got so much healing and energy for us, So when they talk about nature and animals, and I just, I even walked with my great granddaughter on our land, and so I really respect Mother Earth and nature and animals because they teach us, That was so good. I felt good when I saw you guys showing the cat and the earth, I thought, oh, this is neat, Thank you.
Thank you.
Dutch, do you ever find yourself, do people ever write to you and say something like, oh man, yeah, go to Dwayne Reed or I don't know. Oh, I think you're muted. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I've also like run into people on the street too, which is always really crazy. And that's always sort of like because there's so many people here, you don't think you're gonna see anybody. And like I've had it happen like 8 hours from here at like a rest stop at a McDonald's, somebody like stopped me and that was wild. So yeah, that's always crazy to have the community go offline also.
Do we have any? I just want to check. I want to check to see if we had any questions yet from our audience. Hey, audience, ask us questions, because this is, one of your good chances to, poke the brain of people who I know you like very much. One thing I would say, I'll just briefly talk about the exhibition a little, is we worked on this for quite a long time. Because of the pandemic, it got kind of pushed back. And at first we started saying it was cave paintings to Instagram. That's how long ago we started this. Not that we didn't know TikTok existed, but it wasn't that massive at all in North America. So that really changed. And I would also say that our whole kind of way of thinking about social media changed a lot over the course of the exhibition. I mean, I participate in social media, and I've gotten a lot of positives out of it, but then, sometimes you get the negatives of the comparisons, depending on your platform, things like that. And because of the exhibition and spending so much time thinking about it and living through a time when we couldn't be connected in the same way that maybe we were used to, we actually grew to feel more kind of earnest, if that's a sort of strange word to use about social media, and that it started to draw in more all these ideas, as you were saying, of community, and some of the things I'm hearing each of you say about what you get from participating and from being part of this community. So I just want to say that I feel my whole concept, even though I actually think I'll have to make a TikTok account for my dog. So, but that being part of, and I've got a great joy out of, the same as maybe, as Kokum Elsie said, starting to see TikTok and starting to see who one could, as you say, the communities that you can take part in and follow, that I found that to be a really delightful outlet during some of these times we couldn't share in person. There's elements of sort of, in all of yours, things that are both universal in the way that you things you're talking about, but also can be very, very hyper local, for example, or hyper specific to your communities. And I see we do have some questions. Yay, I'm happy. But also, do you ever think about, when you're creating too, you said, Dutch, you comment on this, like thinking about, gee, if I were sharing this locally, I would not have to give as much context? Or do you see yourself as primarily wanting to share something specific and local, or something universal?
I can go ahead. I think this is sort of like not a real answer, but I see myself wanting to share like hyper local or specific things in a way to emphasize that they're universal. So like yes, I might like ride the bus and I don't drive a car, but like we've all had like a day where like we have a transportation issue, or like obviously I live amongst, like, I'm staring at all these like high rises, and so I don't live in like nature, but we still have like nature things here, so it's like showing how everybody has similarities. There's universality in the uniqueness and specificness of each content or each area.
Yeah, and I would say that when I create, I'm definitely thinking about creating something that's universal, because I know that it'll actually reach back to the local area. That's actually kind of what I was thinking at first. I told my partner, I was like, we're probably going to be famous all over the world before like people know about the catwalk right here. And that's kind of what happened. But the local newspapers and things started talking about it. And then, now, almost every time we go out, we get recognized by a few people. And it feels really good because, we live in a city with a lot of people, and there's a lot of issues in our city, but I think it's really good that the city is starting to become known for something really positive like the cats. So.
Okay, I think it has so many positive things, connection to what's happening right now, universal in the community, and all of this TikTok and whatever, it's such a positive thing to be able to share about who we are and who you guys are. You know, that's, we get the relationship building starts happening. You know, once we get to know each other, we begin to realize, oh my goodness, you're not that different. We all have similarities, you know, because we all come from the spirit world. And the more we know, learn about each other, we begin to appreciate who we are and respect each other. And when we do that, we start developing a working relationship based on a healthy way, you know. So to me, that's really important, both here and over there, you know. I really like that, you know, because it gives us an opportunity for a better tomorrow and our younger generation to learn. It's not anything new that I do. That used to happen a long time ago, before European contact, you know. I learned from our elders. The younger generation were taught these things. We need to continue, because the more they learn about it, we don't end up developing high statistics on all kinds of negativity in our life. You know, we become more spiritual, cultural, and more positive, and then we end up being more positive function and human beings in our community. So all of this, I'm not giving my negativity to COVID-19. I couldn't work, you know, I was being shut down and all that. I didn't have face-to-face teaching anymore. And then they started getting me to come online and on Zoom, and I didn't know what that was. And finally I got used to it, and I said, thank you, virus. You know, we're adjusting to all, not quitting our thing. We're adjusting a new way of continuing the education and awareness for our people. So the elder had taught me, we overcome the barriers in our life. We're going to get extra credentials, you know, because all this is going to give us skills on how to do things. So now, you know, I'm thankful to them. I'm not going to give my negativity to COVID-19. Positive things are happening if we just focus on that. Okay.
You've just, I think you've just partially answered a question I haven't even asked yet that just came in from the audience beautifully, you can continue on after I ask the question if you'd like, Kokam Elsie. But we have a question from Cassandra Kist, and it's, I was wondering if you think TikTok can be used for promoting social justice.
I definitely think so. And I'm going to answer real quick, if that's okay. I definitely think so. I've seen it a lot. There's so many like small stories that nobody, like the media, is not talking about, that TikTok has amplified. There's so many things that would happen, even small things, like let's just say somebody, you know, hurls a racial slur at someone. Somebody will post that video on TikTok and people will find out who the person is. And then, you know, socially, they will go for justice. And even things like, let's say you live in a small town and your prosecutor is being corrupt or something like that. I've seen so many people make TikToks that where the media is not even talking about these situations, or either the local media is, but not the national media. And then somebody will make a TikTok about it. The TikTok will blow up and force the national media to talk about it. So yes, TikTok is a very useful tool for social justice, if not one of the best compared to Twitter.
Yeah, I think it's really, you know, it's a goodness that's happening on our journey, the social justice, you know, because we'll develop a better way of working together, you know. So therefore, I think of it as a positive thing. It's a good journey that's happening for us, you know, so that we get to know each other. We get to work with one another. That's important, you know, okay? And we respect each other. Even now, when one of my facilitators, she got me involved in social justice education for government officials, you know, and they always have a really positive feedback after we share our culture with them in the teachings. That's what happens, you know. So therefore, this is, it never happened 20 years ago. Now something different's happening, which is positive, you know. I like it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've seen it happen just like a lot with like hyper local issues, and like Chris was saying, like highlighting things that aren't getting highlighted in the media. Like I went to this this like publicly funded summer program that's run by the state here, and they are like cutting a lot of the funding for it. And so I talked about it and sort of posted links of like how you could contact state legislators. And I ended up having like a legislator reach out to me telling me that I was sharing false information, which I wasn't because I checked my sources. But basically like they got like a bunch of emails just from like that one TikTok being like, and they reach out to say like, we've had a lot of people contact us after seeing this, and, and on and on. So it really is a really powerful way, I think, to create change.
While I have you, Dutch, there's a specific question for you, which is what drew you to the bathtub to reflect?
Oh, yeah. So I started making videos in my bathtub of all places because, as I've said many times, I live here in New York, and I grew up with my mom in a one-bedroom apartment. And so we, share that space together, just me and her. And during the pandemic, she would have Zoom calls, or she would be on the phone with her friends, or I'd be on the phone with my friends. And really the only space in the whole apartment that would provide some sort of privacy was the bathroom. And so I would sit in the bathtub to like be on the phone with my friends and stuff, so that she could be on the phone and I could be on the phone at the same time. And one day I just decided to film a video after sitting there, because a lot of times after I would be on the phone, I would just end up sitting there for like another hour because I was there. So it was really, it came out of a necessity of space.
Thank you. A question that came in is, do you feel pressured to provide content?
I do. I mean, I don't feel pressured because I feel like I'm already going to go out for a walk and see the cats. But I feel like since there's been anticipation, and I'll get comments where people will say, hey, I can't wait to see these videos every night. And I'm like, okay, so I think I should at least drop one video per day. It's not overwhelming pressure, but I am taking a vacation soon, and I'm kind of in my head planning on how I'm going to continue to release content throughout that while I'm out of town.
There's a puppy. Oh, Kokum Elsie has a puppy. Oh, sorry. It's true. We love dogs and cats. What could we say?
Yeah. Definitely is pressure to stay consistent on TikTok. I think staying consistent is probably the number one thing to continue your growth on TikTok. So yeah, Kokum Elsie and I live like half an hour away from each other, and we only see each other a week. So we see each other for a couple hours, like once a week, and I'm trying to like film TikTok videos, but we're also working at the same time. Like I'm working right now from home. So yeah, there definitely is pressure to make content and stay consistent for sure. But it's good. It's fun.
Yeah, just echoing everyone else. Like when I would go on vacation or go away, it's like, oh, I'm going to be away for 7 days. Like, what am I going to post for those 7 days? And then also like, not just the pressure to post, but like the pressure to post sort of content series that people like. So like me sitting in the bathtub, like people enjoy when I do that. And, like for me to do that, I have to have like a bad day, like things have to go wrong. And so if there haven't been things going wrong, it's like hard to make that type of content. So it's also like sometimes pressure to make the content that people like, because then, you want to give people what they like, but then you also want to explore creatively and like post other content as well. So that it's sort of like twofold.
Well, see, I totally agree with that too. No matter what difficult journey we've been on, and then when we learn we do things differently. Like, because for me, I feel really honored to be here, to be able to share things the way I do nowadays, because I'm intergenerational, and I was very problematic. I was an alcoholic and a drug addict and a psycho mom. But in my recovery, connecting to my culture has brought me this journey where I'm at right now. Mm-hmm. And there's so many things that the elders have taught me. And I get excited about that, not ashamed or feeling bad about it anymore. There's so much to learn. I only know very little. but I'm learning more and more, you know. And in the end, I want to show you guys even about nature, you know, this little thing that I have. And if you don't mind, I'll share you this one little last thing that I want, you know, to teach. Okay. Thank
Sure.
you. Am I still talking?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Didn't I just?
Erica, is she sharing? Are you sharing something or?
There's something you said?
Yeah, no, I'm after
Okay.
the end, the very last, you know, okay, if that's okay with you. Or I can share it now, because if I'm done talking now, or what?
I think you can, well, would you like me to, I can deal with a couple more questions and then should we share at the end?
Wait,
How does,
Bob, tell me when, okay?
all right, I'll do a couple more questions and then
Yeah.
we'll do that. That sounds great. There's first a lovely comment that I'll read and then a question. This is from Court D. Hi, everyone. All of your TikToks bring light to the world. Thank you for sharing your creative minds and sharing light. I was wondering, for each creative here, what do you feel is or was one great way that helped you to gain balance with creating on TikTok and staying positive even though the pandemic and real life persists?
One of the things for me is knowing that every time when I post, I get a lot of comments where people will be like, "Oh, my daily dose of serotonin," and and honestly, I feel kind of the same way. So if I'm reading the news or if I'm dealing with, you know, anxiety and things that I deal with in life while I'm at home, I know one of the things that always makes me feel better is when I go out there and do the walk. And everybody has their different things that they do. And mine is definitely going out and petting all my neighbors' cats. That's just, it makes me feel great. And I think that's what helps me to continue to create, because it actually feels good. It's not like, you know, it's not something that I dread doing. Like, it's not something that I'm like, I have to do this so that I can make money or I can, you know, build a career. It's not even that kind of a thought process. It's just something that I really love to do. And every time I finish doing a catwalk, I'm so excited about posting it, because I'm like, oh, I cannot wait to see what people say about this, or I can't wait to wait until people comment on this cat jumping over the fence today or something, and things like that.
What keeps me happy and balanced is believe in the creator and trusting him, you know, and using my traditions and my values and going to ceremonies. But prayer really helps me stay on this, to continue on this journey. When it becomes difficult, because I still go through traumas at times, you know, but I don't give my power to that. I just ask the creator to help me. Creator means God to you guys, you know, that's what we call him, you know, so therefore, and you know, when we learn more about our culture, there's so many ways of healing. Even this water heals our way. It keeps us, there's lots of teachings about the water. And Mother Earth, stepping and walking barefoot on Mother Earth, laying on it and thanking the creator. It gave Mother Earth that energy and the healing. For it's like us women, we're givers of life. So is Mother Earth. That provides that energy for plants and animals and human beings. Once we learn how to connect into those things, laughter is another healing, you know. Crying is a ceremony. That's another healing. I don't have time. This is our big teachings. I can talk on and on. The elder said when we're in recovery, you get extra credentials, and one of them is long-windedness. You know, the more healing you do, you become long-windedness, you know, and that's how I get. So my little elder here, you only got 2 minutes, LT. You always, you know, because I keep talking and talking, you know, where I couldn't even do that when I was before my recovery, you know. I was scared. I had no self-esteem. I was scared to talk, you know. But now it's different, you know. The more I learn from my culture, the more I want to share it for the future generation, you know. So therefore, there's so many ways. Healing through screaming is another which I'm going to be doing at my camp out this year again. You know, there's so many ways of healing. This is laughter. I'm going to share that. I'm done now, right? Yeah. Laughter is healing. When we come in a circle, I always put this after when we're going to leave, we need to leave the circle in a good way feeling. So we're going to do laughter, I tell them. So this little animal showed me that, you know. So therefore, I don't want to waste your time. You're my bosses, but oops, what did I do here? I shut it off.
The batteries are dead.
It's not me laughing.
He's a very silly monkey, I will say.
On the floor like this.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'll shut it off now.
It is delightful, I should say. And thank you for that. Thank you I was totally shocked by how loud it was and I loved it. Dutch, did you have anything you want to comment? I got sillied out of it.
No, yeah, I mean, I try to go into nature. I mean, we don't have a lot of it here in the city, but I go into what we do have. And I just sort of try to step away from creating brings me a lot of joy, but it can also, you know, for someone who has anxiety, can also bring pressure and things like that. So being able to step away and then come back to it is always really nice. That's sort of one way that I find balance too, because when I return to it, and I'm able to see the things that I really love about it, like the community and the sense of connection and things like that. So that's the way I stay balanced, is to give myself breaks and step into the things that bring me peace.
Well, are any of those things maybe favorite TikTokers that was one of our questions. Do you have any favorites? Anybody you want to share tonight?
I get asked this question sometimes and it's so hard. So I always just say, if you go to my profile and you click on like who I'm following, anybody that I'm following, I love. Also people who I don't follow though, because like you see somebody and then you lose them. So it's so hard, but they're, you know, and then you can never find them again. But yeah, there are so many creators out there who do. Elise Myers is one of my favorites. She's fantastic. Yeah, there are so many awesome creators.
Yeah, one of my favorite creators is this nonprofit called Canopy Cat Tree Rescue. And, you know, they go up in trees and rescue cats out of the trees. That makes me really happy to see those videos. And there's another creator named Jasmine, and she's a very funny comedian. So she's another one of my favorite TikTokers. I love the comedy. I like all of the comedy videos on TikTok make me very happy.
Gotta have your laughter, right? That's
yeah.
Kokum Elsie, do you seek out other people on TikTok who maybe are also sharing wisdom or knowledge of your ancestors, of your culture? Is that something you do?
If you look at Kokum Elsie's following as well, we do follow some Indigenous creators. I haven't seen many like other Indigenous elders creating TikTok, but I know that there is a huge Indigenous community. So if you go to Kokum Elsie's following, there are some really cool Indigenous creators that she has there.
Yeah, and I never want our Métis people to be forgotten. You know, they're great teachers and healers too, just like Aboriginal people and non-Aboriginal, you know. And on YouTube, I watch that all the time. I get lots of teachings. Even the little 5-year-old little elder there, Alice Burnett or somebody, she's teaching about Métis culture. She's just a little kid, you know. I was so amazed. But I've learned from our culture, they call the little children little elders because they're so full of wisdom and knowledge. You just have to honor our kids, their wisdom.
They certainly are. They also listen to everything you say. I have two little ones. We have one last question, which I think is actually a lovely one to end on in a way is, do you get any help from your family, from your friends to make your content?
Yeah, I know I get help from my partner. So when we go out on the walk, he's always, you know, he'll say things in the background, like he'll make a joke. So for example, a couple of days ago, we saw this cat that had kind of bow-legged front feet walking down these steps. And I was like, oh my gosh, Kitty, your feet are so cute. And then my partner said, that cat looks like he has shoes on the wrong feet, because they were like pointed the other direction. I was like, oh, that is so funny. I'm going to say that. And so things like that, or like, you know, there's points and times where I'll pick up a cat and he'll hold the camera, or like he'll kind of like go through comments and find comments that he thinks, you know, it's like, you should answer this comment. So definitely get a lot of help from my partner. And but my family, they definitely watch. My family's all in North Carolina. So they definitely watch, and they share it with a lot of other people there.
Yeah, so I help Gookum manage her TikTok. So it's basically just me in the background filming.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Erica. I'm Erica Gladue, and I've been working with Gookum Elsie for over a year now. And we met through nonprofit work. We're actually from Alberta, Canada. So yeah, we are both Indigenous, and I kind of just created Gookum Elsie's TikTok account because I was receiving a lot of really amazing cultural teachings that I just felt that needed to be shared to the world as well. And of course, I was already on TikTok. So it's like, Gookum Elsie, we need to make you a TikTok. And I think it was like her second or third TikTok that went viral already. So yeah, it didn't take much to make her go viral. So yeah, it's basically just me in the background trying to film and edit all the time for her. So it's been fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's mostly just me. I do all of my own filming and recording and stuff, but it's also not me, because the majority of my story, or a lot of my stories, come from experiences I've had with my family and friends, or people that I know. So in that way, my friends and family definitely help with it. Like my mom always jokes that she like gives me free material for like stories and stuff. So I do all of the actual editing and recording and filming and sort of content creation myself, but that's how my family and friends play a role.
Thank you. I just want to thank all of you for participating today and for being so generous with your answers to all of our questions. And I hope that, you know, I'll see you online. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight and for your wonderful questions that allowed us to learn from each other. So thank you again, and thank you for everyone who made this evening possible.
Thank you.